Go. Once you've connected the ADSANTEC benchtop devices to their power supplies and LPT USB ports, you can take all of the USB ports and plug them into one USB hub. Using the USB hub, you can connect 4 devices into one. Now you have 4 devices connected to your computer. Once that part of the setup is done, you identify and locate all the provided cables using the labels on each end of the cable. You simply screw the cables in as the labels indicate. We begin with pre-emphasis data out N. We locate on the pre-emphasis benchtop device the data output N and carefully screw the cable in. You can hand tighten them for now. If you don't feel that that's enough, you can give it a slight wrench tighten once you're done with everything. This cable then goes to the oscilloscope channel 1. Once again, you can hand tighten now and wrench tighten once you're done with all the rest of the cables. The following cable, pre-emphasis data out P. Once again, locate pre-emphasis data out P. You can manipulate the benchtop device as needed to get an easier time tightening the cable. However, do be careful with the cable attachment points as they are a little bit sensitive. Next, this cable plugs into the air detector channel 1 data input positive. Here's the air detector. Data input positive channel 1. We've located it. Now we hand tighten it. As you'll see, channel 1 data input negative has a 50 ohm load on it. This is the way the device will be shipped to you. Next, we go from the air detector channel 1 clock input. We locate that on the air detector channel 1 clock input. And once again, to make it easier, you can manipulate the device as needed. Next, we see that this cable indicates frequency synthesizer, FS for an abbreviation, clock output. We take our frequency synthesizer. Here are our clock outputs. We take our next cable. You see that this goes to the PRBS 45, which is the PRBS generator, clock input. We go to the PRBS 45, PRBS generator, to the clock input. Once again, manipulating the device as needed to make it easier for you to tighten. This portion goes to the frequency synthesizer clock output. Here's our frequency synthesizer. Here's another open clock output. Give it a nice little hand tighten if you can to avoid using the wrench, although you can use the wrench if you need to. Next, we're going to the PRBS 45 clock output. Okay, locate the clock output. The label for the clock input is up here. The label for the clock output is down there. Once again, manipulate the device as needed so you can have an easier time tightening. The ender here goes to the pre-emphasis clock input. Here's our pre-emphasis. Clock input is right here. Next, we have our PRBS data out positive. So we go to our PRBS. The data out label is right down here. Can you get a view of that? And then the labels for positive and negative are also down here. This is the PRBS positive data out. Once there's a few cables, it gets a little more difficult to attach them, but once again, manipulate them as needed for attachment. Next, this cable goes into the pre-emphasis data input P. Locate the pre-emphasis. Here are data inputs. Here's P. The next cable goes from the PRBS 45 PRBS generator data output negative. So once again, we have the label down here for data output, and negative is the one to your left. Once again, manipulating the device as needed for ease of tightening. The next connection is pre-emphasis data in N. We look at our pre-emphasis, we have data in N all the way here to the right. And the final cable that we have goes from the oscilloscope trigger and it connects to the PRBS 45 PRBS generator sync, which is all the way to the right here on the PRBS generator. Now you can give these a quick hand tighten. It should be connected pretty good. You check the back of each device, making sure that you have the USB LPT connection and the power connection as well. We power on the devices one at a time. There is no particular order. So we're turning on the air detector, checking the frequency synthesizer. We have the USB connection, power source, powering it on. We have the pre-emphasis, checking the USB connection. Some devices will have an LED illuminated for the USB connection to be confirmed. Power source is confirmed. Pre-emphasis on. Lastly, we have the PRBS generator, USB connected, power connected, generator on. And now we're going to be going to the computer to turn on the software. By this point, I've already installed all of the software from the provided flash drive. There's no particular order that you must open the software in, so I'm just going to open them as I have them. Air detector. As you'll notice, the USB connection is confirmed over here as well. If there's ever an issue, it will be in red and it will say not connected. I like to keep my air detector to the right of my screen, right about here. Frequency synthesizer. As you'll see, initializing USB connection, now it's connected. I like to keep my frequency synthesizer to the right, right above the air detector. Next, PRBS generator. Not USB not connected, it's taking a second to connect. Then it says USB connected once it's confirmed the connection. I like to keep my PRBS generator to the upper left. And lastly, I'm going to open the pre-emphasis. USB connecting, initializing. Once it locates the device, it will be green. We'll wait a second for that to happen. I'm just going to move it into position where I like to have it while it's doing that. Occasionally, based on what kind of computer you're using, this does take a second. Actually, now that I'm seeing that I'm having a little bit of a delay, I'm going to recheck my cables to make sure that I've done my part. Let me find my pre-emphasis. Pre-emphasis is here. I'm going to unplug, plug back in. Going to locate it on my USB connections. Actually, I think I just unplugged the PRBS generator, so let me reconfirm my connection. Pre-emphasis, here we go. That's it. Now it's saying initializing USB again.
Yeah, I think you unplugged the FS.
That is possible.
Yeah, the FS just got, I think it's a different USB.
Okay, what I'm going to do, in some cases, closing the software and opening it again solves all the problems, so that's what I'm going to do. Yes.
Yeah.
Having 4 similar softwares open, occasionally you just have to close it and open it and everything works just fine. Now, we have our ADSANTEC USB in the computer, so I'm going to load the first setting. Going to start with the PRBS generator, clicking File, then Open Configuration. I'm going to select the ADSANTEC USB. Going to select the Preset Configurations folder. Going to select the PRBS generator. Now I'm going to start with the 10 Gbps PRBS 31 signal. On the PRBS generator, you also have to select the pattern that you're looking for regardless of which configuration you are uploading. So I'm going to manually select PRBS 31. On the other devices, everything else is in the preset configurations. Going to go to the frequency synthesizer, going to open the configuration, going to scroll to the USB of ADSANTEC, going to open the preset configuration folder, going to select frequency synthesizer, and then pick 10 gigabits. Doing the same procedure for the pre-emphasis. And finally for the error detector. Now, I'm going to hit reset on the PRBS generator as indicated in the instructions. Going to also hit resync on the error detector. And now I'm running error free. As you look at the oscilloscope, you can see the eye that you have here. Sorry, the pattern. And that's exactly what you should be getting. I will quickly run through PRBS 25, 28.1, and 32. I will be silent for this portion. Now we're at 25, as you can see over here. Let me bring it back. 25, right here. And now if you look at the oscilloscope, this is the pattern you should be expecting to see. going on to 28.1. Going to hit reset on the PRBS generator. Going to hit resync on the air detector. Voila, no errors. This is the pattern you should be seeing on the oscilloscope. And lastly, I'm going to 32. Going to hit reset PRBS generator. Going to hit resync on the air detector. Perfect. And as you can see, here's the pattern that you should be expecting on your oscilloscope. This concludes this video. Thank you very much.